We don't upload to, we don't stream to YouTube. We record the videos to keep in our archives.
Okay. If my screen goes back to my picture and my mic goes mute, it's because an emergency has popped off at work real quick.
No problem.
I'll be back.
Oh, totally understand. I just appreciate y'all for being available. We like to give every organization the opportunity to represent.
We appreciate it.
And so you all can mark your calendars for February 27th. We're hosting a Walk for Your Heart event. Hopefully we can keep it as safe as possible. We'll be cleaning up our adopted mile, which is on North Church, but I'm going to send out an official flyer the first of the month, 1st of February. I've just been telling everybody to put it on their calendar, so if a few people can come and represent. I don't know if you all have been discussing any community service hours needed or projects or things.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
Hi, Tesha.
I can't hear you guys.
You can't hear us?
Can't hear us?
Her to check in her audio.
Yeah, go to your audio settings.
Can someone put that in the chat?
Oh, she can't hear us.
And we're all like, just go there.
She might have left and gonna pop back in.
Okay. All right, so I'm starting the live feed. And when she pops in, oh shit, I need to go ahead and watch the other screen. We still have a few seconds before we go. Okay. Good morning, everyone out there in Facebook world. I'm gonna try not to cough today, but that's not promised. Here we go. As you can see, we're joined by some lovely ladies from Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I know that. Okay, now she's on. You're on mute, Miss Tesha.
Okay, I'm back. Hello.
All right. Hey, we got you.
Hey, girl.
We're cooking with grease today. All right, so we're live on Facebook. I will be going live on air in a few moments. Just giving everybody a shout out. We have Antwanet Wade, Brittani Lewis, and Miss Tesha, you back on mute. Tesha Johnson.
Hey.
All right. So even though their Founders Day is not until Saturday, unfortunately we don't do shows on Saturday. So here we are today, giving the lovely ladies their space to highlight, brag about their sorority. So I try to represent, give everybody some love. So I put on some blue eyeshadow for y'all today.
That's so pretty.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we still have a few moments before we go live on air. I just want to say thank you in advance for giving us your time today, because I know some of you are multitasking at work and all that. So thank you for that. I know 9:00 is early. So I'm going to see who's already in the live feed, checking in. There's quite a few people. No, if y'all have any questions or comments, drop them in the live feed. We'll be happy to share with the ladies. So we got about 15 seconds, y'all. So get ready. And if you don't mind, you can share this with anyone. Share on your page, so we can have people come in and show some more love.
I am the social media person, so I guess I will.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. It is Thursday. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Quavila Jones, and I have some very special ladies here today from Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. How y'all doing today?
Doing good.
Wonderful.
Doing
Blessed.
great. Doing great.
How
And
are
so,
you?
as you know, KLEK likes to give space to all of the fraternities, sororities, and other organizations as well. Their Founders Day is coming up on Saturday. So, unfortunately, I won't be here Saturday, but I'm giving them their time and space today to just highlight, brag about, just share some inside, outside information with you all. So, without further ado, we're going to start off with some introductions. We're going to start with Ms. Antwanet Wade.
Hi, my name is Antwanet Wade. I am the Vice President of Sigma Gamma Zeta chapter here in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And I was initiated fall 14 here at Arkansas State through the IOTA new chapter, the undergrad chapter here at Arkansas State.
All right, thank you. Ms. Brittany Lewis.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brittany Lewis. I am our Secretary in Public Relations Chair with Sigma Gamma Zeta. I was initiated in spring 2008 through Gamma Tau chapter at Florida Gulf Coast University.
Okay, and I have to ask, what brought you to Arkansas? I mean, we're happy you're here, but like Florida to Arkansas, okay.
Yes, love took me here.
Alrighty, Miss Tesha Johnson.
Yes, hi everyone. I am Katisha Johnson to be correct
Katisha.
about my name here. I am the Z Hope Chair for Sigma Gamma Zeta. I was initiated fall 19, so I'm still pretty new at the game, but I love it. And here at Arkansas State.
Yeah,
All
she
right.
a baby.
Oh.
She's so wonderful.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you all for joining us this morning. All right, so let's start with the history of Zeta Phi Beta. Tell us when and where the sorority was founded.
I was like, who want to take it?
Look
Well,
out.
I'll go ahead. So Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated was founded January 16, 1920 at Howard University in Washington, D.C. by five lovely ladies. We have Arizona Cleaver Stimmons, Pearl Anna Neal, Myrtle Tyler Faithful, Viola Tyler Goins, and Fannie Petty Watts. And
Okay.
so that is the brief history of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
All right, so looking back at that time, and we'll get into the principles and the national programs. Looking at that time, 1920, it was right on the cusp of women getting their right to vote. Can you imagine? Share with us what you imagine it was like during that time.
I truly imagine it was very difficult for these five women to stand up and say, we want to do something different. But we did have the help of our brothers, Phi Beta Sigma. But just to think in that time, everything going on, I know there had to be some very courageous women, because just looking now, if I was in that time, I'm like, would I have stood up? Would I have said, this is what we want to do and go for it? But without them, we wouldn't be here. So I'm just blessed that they had the courage to stand up and say, we want to do something different.
That's awesome. All right, so now let's get into the principles, which I'm sure is the driving force of everything that you all do.
I'll pass it off to Tesha.
No, so of course we have our principles, which are scholarship, sisterhood, finer womanhood, and yeah, so rare.
Service, that's cool.
Service, yeah.
But yeah, our principles are something we truly believe in. We stand on any woman that's interested in Zeta Phi Beta. We take them very serious. Like scholarship is very serious, especially when you come in undergrad. You want to leave with a degree. You don't just want to come, because a lot of people just see the strolling and the stuff in the forefront, but we want to make sure you leave with a degree. We have a lot of educated women in our organization, a lot of educators as well. So scholarship is very important. Service as well. We want to be a service to our community, Jonesboro community, as well as Arkansas State community. And then you also have the aspect of finer womanhood, which is different from a lot of other organizations. That's just how you carry yourself, when people are looking and when people are not looking, and just the growth within yourself also is finer womanhood.
Right. So we'll definitely expound on that when we get close to the end, because I also want you to start thinking about the impact Zeta has made on your life and the legacy you want to leave. So we'll get to that in closer to the end. I just want to make sure to get the meat of, who Zeta is, what you're about, so that people have a deeper understanding that you're not just the ladies in royal blue and white. You're not just, as you said, out here stepping in, you know, strolling and wearing your colors. There's something so much deeper than that. There's so much deeper to you than that. So let's also now talk about your national programs and then bring it down to the local level. Which of your national programs are you able to conduct right here on the local level?
Well, one of the things I'll say is Zeta throughout the years has really tried to focus on what is needed in our communities throughout the country. And
Okay.
so some of our national programs, the biggest one is Z Hope, Zeta Helping Other People Excel.
Okay.
And with that program, it is like a guarantee that every single Zeta chapter, no matter where they are, they can be in Japan, they can be in uh, Africa. It doesn't matter where they are all getting involved in their community through Z Hope. And we have tons of programming with that. And what that does is it allows us to take something that is truly more important in the Jonesboro area than it is in Jacksonville area, while the people in Jacksonville can do what is more important, for their community, what's needed there. So I think that is something that is unique with our signature program of Z Hope. We
Okay.
also have been able to get involved in our Get Engaged program, which encourages us to bring more social action activities to our communities. So we've been trying to do that, especially during the year of COVID. It's made things a little different, but pushing out a lot of social media information and knowledge and workshops so people do know their rights. And we have some things coming up with
Okay.
that one as well.
Okay. So if anyone would like to see some of these programs and learn more information, you do have a national website. It's z5b1920.org. So you can go and there's a menu at the top of the page and you can scroll through and look at a variety of information about the organization. Okay, so with most organizations, they have a mentorship component. Are you all able to have, or do you have, and are you able to operate that component?
On a local level, we currently do not have our youth auxiliary groups up and running. That is something
Okay,
that is a goal of ours in the future. There is a process in order to bring that about.
okay,
But we do have that in our state. We do have our Amici, which is for more so for the grown women, because Zeta does also take into account that, not every woman has that opportunity to go to college, but we
okay,
do want to afford them the opportunity of still providing community service in an organized manner. So we have Amici Auxiliary, which is something else we would also love to do one day in the future. Um, then we have our Pearlettes, Amiquettes, and Arcanettes.
okay. Awesome. Well, I do hope that you all get to revive or bring back or bring those organizations here because we have a lot of youth in our communities that need to be served. And yes, we do have some other organizations. However, there's enough to go around.
Yes.
And so I really hope to see that come to fruition one day. I must say, I know quite a few Zetas personally, locally, and they are always willing to serve. And so I'm happy to get to know you ladies and can't wait to see you out and about in a safe manner
Yeah.
in our community. Um, I know that COVID has really kind of shut some things down. And tell us, how have you been able to operate in the midst of all that's happening right now?
Digitally.
Yeah, I'll say social media, most definitely social media. I know even in the past, Brittany has played a major part with Sigma Gamma, pushing out information through our websites, the Instagram, Facebook, even with virtual, like you said, virtual parties. She's done a great job at helping us get that information out through that way.
Yes.
Okay.
And also monetary donations as well. And just trying to do different drives and stuff, participate where needed in our community.
Alrighty. I want to say good morning to Adrian Everett, who's checking in. He says, hello,
Good
ladies of Zeta
morning.
Phi Beta. All right. Thank you, Adrian, for checking in. Thank you to everyone. Also, we have another shout out. Good morning and happy Founders Day, Kaylee K. Yes, we have to give a shout out to Cheryl Underwood.
Oh, yes.
We air her show every morning. Cheryl's a member of Zeta and is a past international president. So definitely want to give a shout out to Cheryl Underwood. Thank you for that. I'm sure that was Legansy checking in.
Hey.
Okay, so moving on to some other things. What is some other information you would like to share? Oh, let's talk about I'm so sorry, I'm all over the place. Let's talk about the local chapters. I'm sorry, the undergraduate and the graduate chapters.
So the undergrad chapter is Iota Nu. They're located on Arkansas State University, and then the grad chapter is Sigma Gamma Zeta,
Okay.
and we're here in the Jonesboro area as well.
All right. So when were both of those? I don't want to say founded or chartered.
Chartered, yeah.
Okay.
Sigma Gamma Zeta was chartered December 12th, 2000.
Okay.
I know
So
I've been
going on 20 years, almost 20
Mhm.
years. Awesome. And what about the undergrad?
And then Iota Nu was March 23rd,
86, baby.
1986. Yes.
Okay.
I was finna switch my numbers and I was like, no.
I would have helped you with that. I know some of y'all charter members.
Right. Look,
Now, are some of those charter members still living in Jonesboro?
Mhm.
yes, they
Awesome.
are.
And then you get to fellowship with them often or as often as possible.
As often as possible. If there's most time, if we have an event, we get to see them from time to time, and that's great to actually see your charter members that start at your chapter. So
That's amazing. Now, during that time, can you all share anything about maybe why they decided, to start to charter Zeta Phi Beta one on the campus of Arkansas State University, and then the graduate chapter? What were some of the thought processes or the emotions or surrounding that?
I'll let you guys go for Iota Nu first.
Great question. I wasn't even old enough to
Okay.
figure out what was going on back then. But I know that Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is a big organization in the South. So, and I know I'm originally from Mississippi, and it's a big thing, big deal in Mississippi. So I'm just imagining that the move began there. And of course, with Arkansas State, being here in the heart of Jonesboro, Arkansas, they need to paint the skies blue just a little bit, give them something different that they haven't seen before.
Alrighty. All right. I want to talk about another aspect of Zeta Phi Beta that you all mentioned before, as far well, I don't know if you mentioned today, how you are your bro. Let me back up. I'm sorry. Okay, you are one of the only sorority. Help me with the wording of this.
Okay, because you said one of the only. We are the
The
only.
only. Please forgive me. Okay.
Sorority and
Sigma
fraternity
are your
constitutionally bound.
brothers.
Yes.
Please help me. Okay. So
You're
talk
okay.
about that aspect. I'm sorry.
I love it. When I became a Zeta, we only had a Sigma grad chapter in the area, and they treated us with so much love and kindness. And then when my brothers made it onto our campus, it we just instantly clicked. I know for a fact on my undergrad campus they're still tight, as can be. And then moving here, I got married to a Sigma.
Okay.
So I'm very close. I cherish that relationship with them because no matter where you go, one of the best things is that I not only have sisters wherever I go, I have brothers, and they will watch out for us. They will protect us, support us. Um, I just truly cherish that bond that's like no other.
Have they talked about, or I don't know if you can share, why it was important for them to become constitutionally bound? Um,
Um, from what I remember, and Zeta, as with any organization, you are forever learning. But from everything that I've learned during that time period, they were really seeking to have a brother sister relationship with an organization. But the two that existed at the time on Howard's campus, all due respect to them, but the Sigmas wanted something different. Um, and so when they approached Arizona, she thought about it, and she was like, another sorority definitely is needed. Um, and with them just being involved with us throughout the years, I think it really did help them to have that force, because they were already a force to be reckoned with in and of themselves. But when you have women, as we all know, women are wonderful support systems to any man. But when you have that woman on your side as well, your sister, she's going to have your back. And anything that you thought in your head to push forward, oh, it's going to happen. So we're going to push them just as much as they push us to do more in the community. So it's a blue and white takeover,
There it
all
is.
right, then.
So,
Yes.
And I'm sure when you all are celebrating, they are kicking it just as hard.
yes,
Um,
we is even though we have our own Founders Day, we're celebrating twice in the month of January.
yes, yes, ma'am, indeed. So we got about 2.5 minutes left in this segment. So, what are some of the details you would like to share that you would like people to know about Zeta Phi Beta? Again, you're not just about your letters and colors. You actually get out, boots on the ground. So, what are some of the things you can share about things you were maybe able to do last year, and what you're hoping to do this year?
Well, last year was our centennial.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that I thought was so wonderful about us is that even though we were faced with lockdown from COVID, we still celebrated safely. We were still
Okay.
able to push through. So, Zeta is an organization of women that do not let obstacles stop them. We pushed through. We still held a virtual boule and got the work of Zeta accomplished. We still
Okay.
had virtual celebrations. We still brought in four wonderful women into our organization. Two of them you may really know, Vivica A. Fox and Shaka Khan herself.
Yes.
Um, we were, we were still able to give out a $100,000 scholarship, which we got another one for this year. We have
Yeah,
endowments being set up with Howard University.
y'all better
It's
cut
just so
up.
much stuff, programs for children around the world, having a chapters chartered in Africa. Like we were still on the move.
Y'all
And
better
we
cut
have
on
no
us.
plans of stopping.
Okay, look, y'all. Everybody better get out your way because you are
Yes, because
rolling.
we're gonna work
Yes.
with what we got, and we're gonna do it. That is one
Yeah.
thing about us. We started during a time when, um, you know, as African Americans, we were limited to the places we could go, things we could do,
That's it.
certain colleges we could even attend. We pressed forward. We started a chapter in the South before others. So I mean,
Wow,
we don't let obstacles stop us.
that's absolutely amazing. All right, I'm sorry, Antoinette. It took me a minute to get you back on. Um, I know she had to pop off for a minute. But we got Antoinette back with us again. I'm sorry. um, we're gonna give her take a quick break, about a few seconds. But Antoinette, before we go to break, anything you want to add? You got about 35 seconds.
I really don't know. Look, I just popped back on.
Okay, well, the Miss Brittany was giving us this list of major accomplishments
Yes.
that you
Oh, I
all
missed
have.
the good part.
You did. Look, I'm over here like Brittany teaching me stuff. I'm sitting here saying, yeah, say it, girl.
That's awesome. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll still be live on Facebook so we can keep the kind of conversation rolling. For those of you listening on air, join us on Facebook. You're tuning to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back after these announcements. All right, ladies. So,
Dang,
quick break.
Brittany. I missed the good part because Brittany got all the knowledge. I be missing.
She do. Hey, listen, and she pumping it. She is
I told
pumping
you,
it.
I
Girl,
love talking to the stars that are seasoned.
I
Listen.
know.
I love it. They will tell you
And
so much.
this $100,000 scholarship, this, like, wow.
Right.
So who
Wow.
did it? Who was the not who as in personally who, but who are the recipients? Like, what does the scholarship go toward?
If for their education,
Oh,
and I would think that's actually, well, depending on the college you go to, that can last you anywhere from 2 years to 4 years, depending on which college you go to. But there was
Yeah.
one recipient for that. We actually have several different scholarships too that students can apply to.
oh, wow.
You don't have to be a member of Zeta. The winner of that one was not a member of Zeta
That's
whatsoever.
awesome. So,
Mhm.
when will you release, or uh, how can I say, when do you release the application?
I actually just posted it on our Facebook this morning because I thought about that when someone else asked me a question about scholarships. And I was like, hold on, let me put this up there. Um, so they can actually just go to our Facebook and they'll have the link to apply and look at all the other scholarships.
Okay. Because I have a young girl that a mentor that goes to UAPB, and I'm sure she could use all the extra.
Free
Yes.
money is good
Yes.
money.
Yes.
Yes.
She
Because I
could
know
get.
all the sororities, we all have a foundation, and I encourage people all the time. It'll catch them off guard. They're like, "You're not a member of AKA or Delta." I'm like, "But they have money. They got a
Yes.
whole foundation set up for someone like you.
Hmm.
Visit ours, visit theirs."
Okay.
Exactly.
So,
All right. We have a check in from Mr. Derek Coleman. He says, "Good morning, ladies of Zeta Phi Beta." And it's
good
Kelly K.
morning.
Thank
Good
you.
morning.
Morning.
Derek is one of our faithful supporters. Like, he comes to any event possible. He checks in. He shows a lot of love. So we thank Derek, and he's a supporter financially. So we thank him very much, and we appreciate all of our supporters, no matter what capacity you support us in. We thank you all because we're able to put on shows like this to talk to you, lovely ladies. um, and I hope this won't be our last conversation. Anytime y'all have something going on, you want to highlight it, you want to pop on, even if it's a 20-minute segment,
Okay.
let us know. We'll be happy to bring you on to talk about it. Um,
Got
that's what we're here for, bridging the gap in the community between organizations, people, and information. So that's what we're here for. So when we come back from our break, we'll talk about, what impact Zeta has had on the local community, on the state, national level, where however you want to take that. And then what legacy do you want to leave? And then what impact has Zeta had on you? So we'll talk about all those different things. Talk about some of the people who inspired you. How did you become introduced to Zeta? Why did you join Zeta? So we'll talk about all of that
Okay.
when we come back. We got about 20 seconds before we go back on air. So, for those of you listening on Facebook, thank you for being patient. I know this conversation is random, but we're just trying not to give away too much before we go back on air. So, those individuals don't miss out on the conversation. So, 5 seconds, ladies. All right. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
it.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Kalila Jones, and I'm joined by three lovely ladies of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Ms. Brittany Lewis, Katisha Johnson, and Antwanet Wade. Thank you all so very much. So we're going to take the conversation in a different direction just a little bit. We're going to talk about why these ladies joined Zeta Phi Beta, who influenced them throughout their life, and then what influence Zeta has had on the community and on them, and legacies. So we'll start with Ms. Katisha.
Ah, one of the reasons I joined Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is because I was bred to be Zeta. I told them I wouldn't pledge anything other if it wasn't Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. That is a family thing. So I have been groomed since day one. And
Okay.
back then, I was, as a kid, my mom used to always judge like talent shows and step shows because my mom is a Zeta. And so I was always told your heart ain't right if it's not blue and white. So blue and white is all I know. And so I also have a daughter, another generation. And she's learning the same thing. So I told him I'd probably croak over and pass out if she did anything other. Which I love all of D9, but your heart ain't right if it ain't blue and white. So with that being said, I have a family full of Zetas. I think there's only one other color in my family, and it is Delta. So I really don't get to see much of anybody else. But Zeta has most definitely, since I've joined Fall 19, I would have knew, has changed my life dramatically. I was always groomed for community service, but me becoming a Zeta meant I didn't have to change anything about me. I felt like it was an organization that I didn't have to change. Like, there are stereotypes about everybody when we come in. And I was like, okay, I don't have to worry about combing my hair every day. I can still be Zeta. There are things I feel like I can lax out and still be me and still do the service part, still do the scholarship, the important underline. And then I told him Zeta was amazing to me just because it only took 5. When it comes to organizing and getting everything done, even in society today, we think it takes numbers. Well, Zeta taught me it doesn't take numbers. It takes dedication, people that are willing to go above and beyond, to accomplish these goals. And Zeta has just done just that. And that's what we teach. That's what we learn. And that's what we know. But Iota Nu has been a wonderful experience for me, especially since I was an older person joining undergrad. Those young ladies just, when I say changed my life, and they teach me that, so long we are taught as African American women that we have to be strong and that we stand alone and we have to do all these things. That sisterhood part and being finer together is real. They showed me no matter what kind of day I'm having that I can call one of them, they're there for me. And it, like you said, it's not just about a color, it's bigger than just the letters we wear. I can be in Timbuktu, hey guys, I'm having a bad day, guess what, they pick up my slack. And I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. Honestly, I wouldn't.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, Miss Brittany.
Tell you the truth, I was the person that probably made my family a little upset. My family is full of Deltas. And yes. They just knew what I was going to do when I got to school. And I was like, okay. And then I have a cousin that is an AKA. And boy, they all, when the call went out, they all called and yelled at me. But I was actually a charter member of my chapter. So it was kind of fascinating because I was going in, didn't see them on campus. But the example that I saw was from our local graduate chapter. And those ladies worked hard. Oh, they worked so hard. And growing up, my mom instilled service in me. I was literally volunteering from the age of like 5.
Oh, wow.
So I would go with my mom to every volunteer opportunity. So that's all I really knew. Scholarship was big. My dad raised me where you need to be in your books, studying, have common sense too. I, growing up, I had a little brother, so was craving for some sisterhood. And I love the finer womanhood aspect. I thought it really set them apart from others. But ultimately it was the fact when I looked at everyone, because of course I had to look at everything before I made my final decision. I love the fact that when they started in 1920, those were their principles, and they held true to it the entire time. They did not waver. No matter what came their way. Like I say, they overcame obstacles. That was around the Great Depression and everything, and they could have ended. Zeta could have ended during that Great Depression. Did it? Nope. It kept going. And I just love that the women were so true to the principles from the founding to the current. And I still feel strongly about that. And as Tesha said, I considered myself a plain Jane. Um, and I loved, as a finer woman, um, I was able to be refined.
Okay.
But the expectation of what society saw as the ultimate supreme of beauty was not necessarily the standard. Yes, we still want to make sure we are well put together, but the fact that we can find beauty in every single woman that we come across. Because sometimes you just need to dust yourself off, do your hair, put on some pearls, and girl, you got it going on. Um, but it was just phenomenal to me, and my sisters have impacted my life. I still talk to so many throughout the country, and it is a sisterhood like no other.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
All right. And so, Miss Antoinette.
So definitely, I'm probably gonna piggyback off a lot of what Brittany and Tesha has said. But coming into college, I really did not know much about Greek life, even though Adrian is my uncle and he's an alpha. So I kind of knew a little bit, but I didn't know much. And
Okay.
at the time, someone said, "I feel like you should, become Greek." And me coming out of high school, I was like, "No, thank you. A lot of females, that's just drama. No, thank you." But when I got on campus and I kind of seen the different organizations, um, I started doing my research. That's when I started researching each sorority, seeing what they were about, seeing where I felt like I fit. And the one thing that I loved about Zeta is, like everyone else has said, there was not an image that, like, this is what you have to look like or have to act like to be a Zeta. And that just resonated with me because I was like, I can be me and still be a
Mhm.
part of something bigger than myself. And so that's kind of how I looked into Zeta, and it has been the best thing that's happened to me because if you ever talk to my grandmother, she's like, "You were the shyest thing in the world. When you had to do Easter speeches, you would cry." But like Zeta literally brought me out my shell.
Yes,
I've
Lord.
done a lot of public speaking, and it's just helped me in more ways than I could ever imagine. It's turned me into a businesswoman. Any job interview I go to, I mention Zeta, because at the end of the day, Zeta is a business, and it's definitely helped me grow. And I'm just happy to be a part of an organization that can help me grow, and I can help other young ladies grow as well.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, thank you all. Those are wonderful stories. So let's talk about what impact Zeta has made on the community and with you. Well, you've shared pretty much, what impact it has made on you. Let's talk about the community, and then anything else you would like to expound on when it comes to you personally.
Okay. As far as me, and community impact, because I'm not from Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Okay.
As before, so it has created ties, as Net says, business relationships with people. So I do community service, but I'm one of those people, I like to just pay for things and kind of go on by my way, because as a kid, I like Brittany was saying, she's been doing community service since she was 5. So I'm a preacher's kid. So I grew up serving people, serving people, serving people. So the older I got, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna pay for that. I ain't got to do it. Da, da, da. So, and then I get in Zeta and I realize, like, it's the small things that matter. And even as undergrad, we do the highway cleanup, going out there picking up the trash. It makes a difference. Maybe not to the man that's driving the Lamborghini, but to the man that walks beside that and sometimes that sleeps there, it makes a world of difference. So small things like that. And we also have that adopt a school program where we give out to the schools and support teachers. It makes a world of difference because I tell them, Lord, I'm glad Zeta Phi Beta sorority is full of educators. That is not my calling, probably would never be my calling, but I will help those teachers supply those rooms so that we can create a better future for our kids. I like my retail life. It's the fast-paced world. And even in there, they see this blue and white all the time. And I tell people, whether I have my colors on or not, I still represent Zeta. So I not only impact, Zeta just doesn't impact me, it impacts others through me. So I have to make sure that I'm up to par and standard at all times.
Yes, ma'am. Alrighty, thank you. Hey, Miss Antoinette.
She said a mouthful there. Like you hit it on the nail for sure. But like she said, especially the adopter school, I feel is very, very important. Because not only supporting the teachers, but also supporting the students. Just going to sit with them and talk with them and motivate them and let them know that I've been here before. I know where you are. And if you continue to push on, you can reach your goals. And so I'm really big on helping the students. I work in higher education. So that is something that's really important to me, and just being visible in your community. And as Zetas, we truly try to do that, be visible, do different things. Like she says, the small things that matter. Um, the monetary thing, it helps, but actually getting out there and seeing the smiles on the community face, and just hearing those little thank yous. Like you look at it as like this isn't even that much, but like they really appreciate it. Hearing those little thank yous just melt your heart sometimes. And I think that's the one thing I love about being in an organization that's bigger than myself, is that you have a bigger and a far reach within your community.
And I think even more so now, the little baby, I call them babies, the babies need us as adults, as leaders, to really reach out to them, because they're dealing with this mess like we are, but on
Right.
a different scale, and we don't even have a clue what they're feeling, because they don't know how to express it. But
Right.
yeah,
That's
so
true.
thank you all for that, Miss Brittany.
I would say some more impact that we've had, at least on a local level. Um, I know with veterans, that is something that the
Oh,
sorority in general holds dear to our heart. We appreciate all of the men and women who have served to protect us. And so we love giving back. We give back financially and also through toiletry items, just because we do realize that some of them are homeless now. And to us, they shouldn't be. So that is
yes.
something that we make a effort to do every single year, is give back to our veterans, on a local level, state level, and international level. And then we, from our social action, also just making sure that the community was educated, no matter which way you voted, because we can't tell you how to vote, but we want to make sure they were educated. So I was happy that, our chapter was able to help me out here at my job, because I work for our Head Start, and do a presentation for our families as well as the community, so that they would know who is all running, because there was a huge list of people running. And also just letting them know, um, you know, these are the dates that you can vote. Did you know, if you were a convicted felon, but you've paid these fees and did all that, you can restore your rights. Just getting that information that people don't always tell them, or it's not as publicized out to them. Um, because we really do want our community to thrive, and we realize it takes all of us to
Yes,
to do
ma'am.
that.
Yes, ma'am, indeed. Thank you all so much for that. And want to say good morning to Mrs. Shanquetta Cunningham. She says D9 love. Sends out some
Yes.
hearts to you all. I want to touch on what you talked about, Miss Brittany. I was watching the hearings this week, and that's a whole nother.
Oh yeah.
However, there are some people, as they were talking, their names will pop up. And so I have a friend in Canada who's been kind of following this with me, and they were asking, well, who was this person? What's their role? And so as I'm looking up people, I'm like, I realize we all need to be educated. Who's the majority leader? Who's the minority leader? Who's the House Speaker? Who's the, whatever, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also something we need to keep our younger generation educated on,
Yeah.
who holds what positions in the House, the Senate, you know, um, even on a local level, on a state level, we need to know
Mm-hmm.
who is who. And
Yeah.
so it's like the work doesn't stop, the education doesn't stop. When it comes to politics, I am not a political junkie. However, I'm learning more because I have to, and I need to be
Absolutely.
more engaged. so, so I hope to see you all do more work on that aspect as well, and not just you all, everybody, all organizations that have the power and capacity. Let's start educating our communities. I feel that once we become more empowered with knowledge, we can change some things. And
We
I'm just gonna stop
can.
it. I'm
We definitely can.
just gonna leave it at that. And then, as one of you all mentioned before, like, don't give women a little bit of power. Like, we can make some things happen.
Yes, we can. We sure can. And
Give us
quickly.
some flour, eggs, and sugar. We can make a cake. So, anyway, enough about that. All right, so let's talk about legacies. When you think about your role in Zeta and all the things you've experienced, what is a legacy that you want to leave behind?
To be honest, as far as legacy, I just want to leave it better than I found it. To me, it doesn't matter if they remember my name. I know it's going to be etched in the history of each organization, but if at least I left it better than I found it, I feel accomplished. Because I'm not really big on, the pats on the back and people like, oh, you did a great job. Like, that doesn't matter to me. It's just more of, I know that I did my part and I left it better than when I came in.
Okay.
And right. And actually, I'll piggyback off Antwanet a little bit too. As the old saying say, people may never remember what you say, but they'll always remember what you do and how you treat them. So whether they remember my face, my colors, my name, I want them to remember how I made them feel, and that's kind of what it is about Zeta. It doesn't, like I said, the organization is huge, it's large. It doesn't matter if I remember 5 members, but I want to know what Zeta did for me as a whole, as for my community, and not just for me, but the generations to come. So that's what it's all about. It's all about what we're doing to change our future, and most definitely that's what we're working towards.
Thank you.
And I would say for the legacy, I want it to be like a poem that we hold dear to our heart. I want to be a friend to man. And I want to make sure that the legacy that I leave within Zeta shows that I was a friend to man and that I always pushed my sister to be a friend to man. It doesn't matter what man has going on, whether he's homeless and smelly or successful and rich. Be a friend. Be respectful, be loving, be caring, and truly support everyone. Because I don't believe in the whole pulling down someone just because they're succeeding. Whether you are my D9 sister, I'm going to support you in all that you do. Some people may see us as competition.
No,
that's my D9 sister.
It's all love.
D9 brother over here.
Big
I
love.
want us all to succeed, and that's being a friend to man. Is making sure we all are uplifted, and I just want that to be the legacy that I leave within Zeta, which will then be thus an impact Zeta has made on the community.
Absolutely.
I read a post on one of my friends' page. They are part of an organization, and so they were like, yes, we do kind of joust at each other from time to time, but that's friendly. That's like an understanding you all have. Like, you all just kind of throw shots at each other, but just like when it comes down to business, we're all about business and we are unified. So don't get it twisted.
Exactly.
I know I'm not saying
you pick
exactly
on one,
like
you
she
pick on the
said
other. So.
Right. And it kind of works like a natural relationship you have with any of your siblings. You don't just go around being nice to each other all the time. You got to hit them upside the head to make sure they're still alive and we on the same page, Just check in.
Right.
But like when it comes to standing together, locking arms, and
Absolutely.
coming together for change, y'all do that. I must say I'm happy to see the relationships here, and I'm happy for the relationships I've made amongst I'm not a part of organization, but I'm happy to see all the relationships and networks made, in our community. So, and I'm grateful for the ones that I've made on a personal level. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you all for all that you do. We're going to get ready to take another quick break. So for those of you listening on air, if you want to jump on Facebook, we're going to keep the conversation light, keep it going. But you can join us there. But we'll be right back after these announcements with the lovely ladies of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. All right, so we're still on Facebook. I really enjoyed today with you ladies. I can't thank you all. I thank you all enough, and I'm sorry for my. Sorry.
You're good.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Thank you
That
for
is me. I'm
having
holding
us.
mine in. I don't know how.
See, 2020, you can't even cough. You can't even be on the
No.
camera and cough
I
now.
know,
It's
right?
just,
Like,
it's
don't shoot,
against the rules. Don't do it.
don't
No,
spray me, please.
Pray you through the
it's
camera.
it is okay. My allergies are really bad right now, and so it is fine.
You be about to kill yourself trying to hold in that cough.
If I start turning red, that's why.
I can I can imagine what it's like for people who really, who are out and about every day going to work or wherever they're going. And they do have, like you said, seasonal allergies and sinus and whatever. It's like, look.
Yeah.
You have to tell people it's not COVID. I
I
promise.
promise. I promise.
I
It's not.
promise. Like,
This is not a
disclaimer.
symptom.
And sadly, there are some people, they're asymptomatic. So it's like,
You don't
those are
know.
some of the ones
Yeah.
you have to be more leery of.
Yes.
um, I have a family member who was around some people. They were asymptomatic, and she found out they tested positive several days after she was around them, and she had to get tested. I'm like, okay, so she was in panic mode. By the grace of God, her test was negative. I'm like, just to be around people and you don't know, like,
Right.
that's the
Yeah.
scary part right
My
now.
mindset though is like, don't panic until you get the results. Because I personally feel like you can panic yourself into being sick.
Yeah,
That's just me, but I'm just like, don't panic. Just take the test. When you get the results, we'll handle it then.
yeah.
But you shouldn't even panic then. I mean, it's okay.
That's true. God
I
got
was
you.
I was more panicked. There was a time when I was sick and my son got sick, and that's when COVID was just coming out, and we had so many symptoms of it. And I was like, "Oh no, I passed it to my baby! Oh my God!"
Oh no.
And we both tested negative, but it was that fear because I felt terrible. I
Mm.
felt guilt more so than anything.
All right, ladies, here we go. Tuesday. All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Cordelia Jones, and my very, very special guests today are the lovely ladies of the Royal Blue and White from Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. We have Miss Brittany Lewis, Miss Katisha Johnson, and Antwanet Wade joining us. Those of you on Facebook, you've met these ladies, and we've been having a great conversation so far. But we are going to wrap up our conversation in this last, 5 to 7 minutes. I'm going to let the ladies have the floor. Share anything you want to share, any fun stories that were PG, um, anything else, and just elaborate a little bit more on the finer womanhood. What that means to you. How do you exemplify finer womanhood in your everyday life?
I would say with finer womanhood, I'm exemplifying it in my everyday life by being not necessarily well put together, but I consider myself finer.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
presentable. I'm presentable at all times.
Okay.
So because I know I represent Zeta at all times. So I always want to make sure I am presentable. If someone was there to take a picture, would I be ashamed,
Okay.
to be in my letters and they go, oh, that was the Zeta. But also, that's a true thought. But also just the fact that I am a woman of substance. I believe in getting the job done.
Mhm.
Hard worker, collaborator. Finer is not just appearance, finer is a lifestyle.
Yes.
Okay.
And so, therefore, from the way I hold myself at work, what does my work say for me on a professional level and with my organization? So it has so many aspects to it. And also, like I was mentioning before, being that friend to man. So also being personable, charitable.
Okay.
So I think it encompasses a lot. And then the little tidbit that I wanted to just share, since it's last minute thoughts, with our scholarship, if you go to our Facebook page, you will be able to see information. This year it is a $125,000 scholarship for
Well,
one lucky winner. But when you click
congrats.
on that link, you will also be able to look at the various other scholarships that our foundation has available. You do not have to be a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. You also can be a man with the other scholarships. Our 125,000 is for women, but our general scholarships, they are open to men and women. So if you just read through them, you can see which one fits you best and apply. Deadline is coming soon in February. So,
Okay. Now, is this on the Sigma Gamma Zeta page or the Iota Nu page?
Sigma Gamma Zeta page.
Okay. All right. So go check that out and find those scholarships. Y'all rack up on that money. Well, I'm in grad school, so, and my program is real short, so I'm not going to apply for any other scholarships right now. But,
She said, I'm not going to take money from anybody else that might really need it.
yeah, because my program is like 20 hours. So but if I was early years, yeah, I probably should have took advantage of some.
Oh,
I wish I knew about these opportunities
I agree.
when I was still in college. But I also think a lot of times we just don't want to put in that extra work. We feel like it's tedious. But now looking back, I'm like, a paper? Girl, I could
Look,
write that in a minute. A paper?
mhm.
You need me to talk about myself? Sure.
Okay.
Girl, please.
yes,
Um,
ma'am.
but
I'll take
Brittany,
a five. I'll take a
Also,
500-word essay over 1,000-word plus
what you
paper any
said,
day.
500 words ain't nothing now.
I just
Yes.
wanted to throw out though, if we have any of our sisters listening, please be sure to contact any of us that you know within the local grad chapter. If you're not sure if we're still active in the grad chapter, it's 11 of us active. Just reach out to any of us or email us at sigmagammazeta@gmail.com because we got something going on this Saturday on Zoom.
Hey,
Okay.
that's what we need to talk about.
All right. So we got 2.5, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. So, Ms. Tesha, Antoinette, any final words you want to share of what final womanhood means to you?
Sure, I can handle that one. Um, Old school raised, as they say, charity starts at home. So for me, Finer starts at home. Before Zeta, before Walmart, before anybody else ever sees me, my children see me. So if I can't be Finer before them, who can I be Finer before? And of course, Finer womanhood is always striving to be better than what you were the day before. And I just graduated in August and back in school. So, and it's not, like she said, it's not just in how I look, but it's in how I carry myself. And I come in contact with a lot of people in my job, and I feel like I should always be able to inspire somebody, no matter what level, no matter what age, to be a better themselves, to better themselves, or a better version of themselves, to give them some of the same desire and determination that I have, maybe not for the same goals, but to reach their goals. And that's kind of what Finer is. It's making sure something is always better than what it was when you touched it the first time.
Okay. I want to say good morning to his name is Shante. But he says happy Founders Day, Soror's Blue Love.
Thank you.
All right. So about 45 seconds, Antoinette. You want to say anything else?
I just feel like they wrapped it up beautifully with the final womanhood. Just like they said, it's more than what you look like. It's about how you carry yourself, how other people see you. Because regardless if you're wearing your letters or not, I promise you, people know you are a part of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. So you just have to live accordingly, like you are always being watched. And that's
All right.
something I carry with me every day.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention my sister, Gwen Henderson. She's out in Arizona. She's a lady of Zeta Phi Beta. So
Hey,
I know.
Soror.
Hey.
So Founders Day is Saturday. So if you see one of these lovely ladies in blue and white, shout them out, show them some love, take them to lunch, do something.
Cash App.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies. And I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Turn up all the rest of the week, get
Yes.
ready for Saturday. So I can't thank you all enough for joining us today. Thank you, Zetas, for all the work that you do in the community. Thank you for supporting us. And any way we can support you all, let us know. So thank you, everyone else in the community. I hope you all have a great and blessed day.
All right.
All
And
right.
thank you for the
Thank,
opportunity.
yes,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much. And thank y'all for all that y'all do.